Okay guys, in this tutorial we're gonna talk about break and continue statements, which basically means that with break we will stop application and with continue we will skip operations. Well, why did they decided to use continue and not skip as a keyword? I will never know and understand, but it's not mine to judge. What I can do is just to use editors and programming languages. As I said, continue is a little bit weird choice in this case, but let me roll with the source code. So, for we need the starting point x that is equals 0, but this thing must be integer, okay? And we need ending point, which is 20, and we need some kind of very weird algorithm, x++, which is so simple, still effective. And then we will just for testing purposes use console to a little bit write line on terminal that specific x for testing purposes to make sure that everything is fine. And we will have listing. That's cool. Okay, what about check? For example, if we reach 10 in this listing, we will break. So, application will stop. Okay, so no more execution when we reach a 10. Right. How? Well, we are going to use if inside for, which means x equals 10. When that is reached, we'll check this out. We are just going to say break and F5 and nothing more after 10. There you go, guys. So you're gonna use break when you wanna stop. Okay, no more operations. What about continue? That weird thing. Continue, well, everything will be executed here in this range of numbers except 10. 10 will be skipped. Okay, F5 and you will have listing, there you go, but without 10. And that's cool. So what about while loops? Well, they're a little bit more difficult to understand sometimes, but let's handle them. Integer x is 0, which is starting point. We will use while and condition must be x must be less than 20, and immediately after that we're gonna say console dot write line that specific x, but don't forget that we also need to have algorithm x++ or increment. Okay, so will this work? Default case, yes. Okay, we have listing. What about breaking from things? Well, down there you're gonna have if statement. So if if x reaches 10, well, pretty much same stuff as in for loop, we will break F5 and there you go. Cool result, very simple thing to understand. But we cannot just change break to continue when we talk about while loops. No, we're gonna run into problem. Continue, F5, and guess what? We're gonna see 10. So obviously we need to rearrange a little bit our code. What that means is this if must be at the top. Okay, it must be at the top. Just remember that. And guys, you're gonna use for loops and while loops so many that this will become your second nature. So you're gonna recognize errors when you run into errors, your own or other people. Don't worry about that. Don't try to memorize, just try to understand. Anyway, if x reaches 10, you will, well, continue. This is for continue. And what else? We do have to do some operation. So console dot write line that specific x, and we need algorithm x++. Well, is this enough? Let me test. F5 and there is a problem. Oh, right, semicolon. F5 and actually we do have break. And obviously there is a continue here. So how is that possible? Well, the thing is that you need to use here also same algorithm, but before continue. Okay, here x++, and now the thing will work really as a continue. How weird is that? Well, I don't know. It is what it is. F5. And there you go, guys. You do have listing exactly like when you're working with for loop, but there is no 10. Just remember, guys, that when you're using continue inside a while loop, you need to have if at the top. Okay? If at the top. And both of these increments must be with operations and with check. Okay? So both of them. So it is what it is. My choice is to use while loop when I grab user input, and for loop is used to some kind of manual, almost manual number crunching or something. Don't try to envision where you are going to use them. You will learn that over time. And definitely don't try to memorize these things. It is much more important skill to know where you can find decent examples. Okay, so just be cool. You don't need to memorize this, right? So, thanks for watching as always, and see you next tutorial. Ciao.